Kristi Noem is in some hot water for so very, very many reasons. And it seems like right now, Kristi Noem does not have a friend in the world. Reports started coming out towards the end of last year, before everything that happened this week, obviously. But reports came out in December saying that Donald Trump was sick of her, wanted her to go. She wasn't producing. She was just hogging the spotlight, and he wanted her to go. Then about a couple days later, another report came out, said Kristi Noem knows that Donald Trump wants her gone. And so she's looking for a way to get out and preserve her dignity. So Trump doesn't like her, according to these reports. Democrats obviously don't like her. Most of the public after this week, I'm assuming, is probably, well, she already had an underwater approval rating, but I'm assuming a huge majority of the public doesn't like her. And it turns out that even Republicans in Washington, D.C., in Congress, do not like her, and they are actually in a position to do something about it. And believe it or not, folks, they have. Republican Senator Thom Tillis of North Carolina came out this week and told the Bulwark that, yeah, I've put a hold on every single nominee for the Department of Homeland Security because Kristi Noem is refusing to come to the Senate and answer some very tough questions. And Tillis, being from North Carolina, which is why I mentioned it, knows firsthand about Kristi Noem's incompetence. It's also important to point out that he actually put the hold on her nominees in place before the shootings this week. And now he says, with that, she's got two very important issues to talk about. But the biggest one for Tillis, of course, in North Carolina is the fact that FEMA abandoned the state. One of the big talking points of 2024, obviously, was Hurricane Helene, which absolutely devastated areas of North Carolina, including Lake Lure. And FEMA was on the ground. FEMA was doing what they should have done. However, Trump convinced those people that Biden and his FEMA abandoned them. Like, literally, they're working with FEMA at the moment, but they still say FEMA's not here. Hey, FEMA, how you doing, FEMA? Yeah, we haven't seen anybody from FEMA. I mean, that's almost exactly how that went, because they had been working with them. But anyway, so North Carolina votes for Trump, saying Biden abandoned us with FEMA. Then it turns out that when Trump came in office, Kristi Noem takes over FEMA, they totally pulled out. And I've done a couple stories on that. One of them very recently about how they're not approving anybody's requests for the grant program to buy out their property that FEMA does. So Tillis wants answers. He wants to know why Kristi Noem pulled FEMA out of his state, why they're not approving these grants for people who clearly qualify for them, and FEMA has the money for it. So he wants answers for that. And until he gets those answers, nobody else is going to go work at the Department of Homeland Security. We don't care how understaffed you are. And of course, after what happened this week, now she's got to answer questions about that as well. Because most Republicans are buying the story, right? Oh no, his life was totally in danger. We had to protect him. But a lot of them aren't. A lot of the ones in power are not necessarily buying it, and that's a good thing. Obviously, more of the public needs to rewatch that video and see what happened. But if the lawmakers, the ones who can actually do something about it, understand what really happened in that situation, then, that's still a positive. But here's what Tillis had to say. I'd simply like the Homeland Security Secretary to respond to what are now two requests by the chairman to come before the committee, and that's the reason why I placed the blanket hold before the shooting yesterday on anything related to Homeland Security until such time as she does that. I know that we're going through a transformation at Homeland Security and in FEMA, but right now we're behind the 8 ball on past storms, and we need to get their attention and cut through the red tape, get it done. I don't disagree with you on that, man. That's one of the few times I'm going to be like, yeah, Thom Tillis is right. Not something you get to say very often, but in this particular instance, absolutely, He has a valid argument. He has a valid point. Kristi Noem is a complete and total disaster, and she should have to answer for that. And that's all he's asking. Thanks for watching, and if you are not already subscribed to the channel, please do so, and do not forget to like and comment and share widely among your friends.